afternoon all, and welcome back to the Kieran Clavin Racing Show for the weekend preview covering Kelso, Newbury and Doncaster. So plenty of races to get through, so I'll try and keep it as short as I possibly can because I'm going to go through each card race one by one as per usual. Thanks again to all those that have joined and liked and subscribed to the channel. It's a big help. Obviously plenty of views on the last video. The anti-post video from Monday has gone down well. I hope you're all involved in that. Obviously Golden Ace was put up in it, and obviously with Constitution Hill coming out of the Champion Hurdle, we've been a bit closer. So yeah, she's definitely got a chance. But going into the weekend, hopefully we can find some winners for you through these cards. We'll start off at Kelso, the 110, the 2 mile handicap chase. And I like Torino here for Jamie Snowden, currently best price 15 to 8. He is favourite currently. Second at Weatherby and Cheltenham this season, only going down a neck to triple trade at Cheltenham, which was very unlucky. Was then fourth at Newbury behind Mighty Bandit. The first three have all won again since. Mighty Bandit obviously won at Doncaster, and he's actually out again at Doncaster this weekend. Highlands Legacy was a good winner at Windsor. Actually beat this horse Torino in that Windsor race. And then the third horse in that race was Look Away, who obviously won the big handicap last weekend at Kempton. So decent form in this race. And like I said, then Torino went to finish second. They beat again a neck, like he was at Cheltenham, by Highland Legacy. So the form's there at 15 to 8. I think he's a good bet for Jamie Snowden yard. The 140, the Premier Chase. Not going to touch on this too long. Protector Rat is in here. 1 to 9. He's £20 clear of everything else. This should just be a jog round, an easy win for him. The 225, sorry. No, there's the 215. I take it back, the 215. The 2 mile 2, Novices Premier Hurdle. Won last year by Jet to Vegas, who takes his chance in the Mall Battle in half hour later. The horse I like in here, though, is The Last Cloud for Philip Neville. Won at Perth, sorry, not Stratford, Perth, and then was fourth at Cheltenham behind Fortune Demar, who obviously would have had a decent chance in the county had he not got injured. Was then third in the Formby behind Idaho Sun and My Daddy Paddy, and then was third again in the River Dawn when trying 3 miles for the first time behind The Devil You Know. So that's decent form. Now drops back to 2 miles 2 furlongs for this race, and I think he's got a decent chance. He's around the 15 to 2 shot. I think he's got a decent chance of going close in this race, given his profile, given the race he's ran in previously. We then move on to the big race of the day, the Mall Battle Hurdle over 2 miles, and the one I like in here is Hamlet Knights for James Owen. Winners at Stratford and at Warwick at the start of the season. Was then second in the Mattison's Holdings Hurdle at Cheltenham behind Give It To Me OJ, just beating a neck that day. And it's second again in the Elite Hurdle at Wincanton when he went down by a neck to Rubo. So decent form in the book. Makes his handicap debut here. Had a spin round Kempton last week, and he actually won that day as well. So in good form, good nick. Comes here, plenty of decent chance here on handicap debut. I've actually shortlisted him potentially for the county, so they're looking to go for the bonus of winning here and then going on to win a race at the festival. He's 13 to 2. He fits the profile. He's won this season. He's rated above 130. He just fits a decent. He's got a lovely profile, and he's 2 necks from being unbeaten this season and winning a Mattison's Holdings Hurdle and an Elite Hurdle. So he's definitely very good quality, and at 13 to 2, he's definitely a bet in here. The 330, the handicap hurdle over 2 miles 4 furlongs, and the horse I like in here is Both Barrels for Donald Williams, currently 9-1 best price, was winner at the track in December and was a decent 6th in the handicap last time out, up at Haydock behind Dalston Lad of Skelton's. I don't think he quite saw out the full 3 miles that day, so dropped back down to 2.5 miles, and I think back on a course where he's already won before. I think he can go close. The 4 o'clock, the 2 mile juvenile hurdle, and I've gone with last year's connections in Belea River for the Harry Derham stable. Like I said, the connections won this last year. Come here in a decent nick. Won well at Catterick last time out, at the end of last month, and should go close here. The 4:35, the Mares Novice Hurdle, 2 miles, and again another race I'll keep short and sweet. If we can get around even money for this horse on the day, it might be worth a bet. But a Path de Ronda for Jamie Snowden was 3rd last time out in the James Seymour behind Kingston Queen and White Noise. I think that form looks fairly strong. This is a lot easier back in a novice company. She should take a hell of a beating here. She's tissued up at 4-6. We'll see what price we get on Saturday, for tomorrow evening, and see whether we worth a bet or not. And then the final race, the 5:10, the novice handicap chase. I did like the chance to push the button at the top, but the fact that he's got to give so much weight away, I just don't think he'll be able to do it. And I'm going to side with the Lucinda Russell trained Old Gregorian, who won a match here on Chase debut. Obviously beat Secret Tricks, who unseated that day. That was his only run over fences to date, but he was 3rd on this card last year in the Moor Battle Hurdle itself behind Cracking Rhapsody. So I'm going to take him for this race. Just going back to the Moor Battle Hurdle, obviously I put up Hamlet Knights as my chance. I honestly think Cracking Rhapsody comes in with decent enough form. I know he's getting on a little bit now. Won the race last year. He would have a shout as well. And also Jet to Vegas, who I mentioned, who won the Premier Handicap, comes here to make Handicap Hurdles debut after going chasing off the back end of last season. He's interesting as well. Was 4th at Aintree behind Salvatore Mundi, no less, when last seen over hurdles. So he could be very interesting back over hurdles after his failed chase campaign. But it will be Hamlet Knights in the feature for me at 2:55, the Moor Battle Hurdle. We then go over to Newbury. We've got to cover the card over there. And we start with a 1:35, the Novice Handicap Hurdle, 2 miles. And one horse that I put up previously on the podcast, Eugene Royale for Tom Lacey, was 7th at Chepstow on debut. Was a decent run that day. Was then 2nd to Glance at Midnight at Huntington. Now that horse was obviously going to finish 2nd to Old Park Star at Cheltenham, and to Act of Innocence again back at Huntington in the Sydney Bank. So that form looks fairly strong. Eugene Royal was slightly disappointing next time though, unfortunately. Needs to bounce back. But has a really low weight here, and I think with Cameron Isles taking the £3 off as well, I think he's got a great chance of going close. The 2:10, the handicap hurdle over 2 miles. And Last Kingdom is in here. Now I put this horse up last time for Faye Bramley, making a 2nd start for the Sable. Made his 1st start at 2 miles 5 furlongs for Faye after leaving Willie Mullins, and was slightly disappointing when pulled up that day at Warwick. But comes here, drops back down to 2 miles, and it wasn't too bad. 3 starts ago he won at Listowel, won a listed handicap hurdle at Listowel, beating Put Your Hands Together, who obviously is the defending Fred Winter champion, and obviously did well at Aintree after that. So that form looks fairly strong. If he can get back to that sort of level, he should be fairly competitive here. The 2:40, the Novice Handicap Chase over 2 miles 4 furlongs. I like the look of Sam Thomas's Palicio here. Won at Chepstow at the start of the season, was then pulled up at this track behind Mambo number 5. Obviously that's got the form of the likes of Mighty Bandit and Highland Legacy and all that was in that race previously. They then bounced back to form as third again at Chepstow behind Stencil. Second, Jubilee Ball has come out and won since, and the fourth, DJ Peter has also come out and won since. So that form of that Chepstow race looks fairly strong behind Stencil. Obviously back to Newbury. I'm not sure what completely went wrong. He's a front running type. If he gets loose on the lead here, I can see him going very close in this race. The 3:15, the Veterans Handicap Chase over 3 miles, 2 furlongs. And I like the Paul Nicholls trained Brave Kingdom here. One of the only 10-year-olds in the race. Obviously, that's where I first looked. He's actually making his Veterans Company debut, as it were, after. But he's got decent form at Newbury. He's won here twice previously. Was pulled up in between last time seen at Newbury behind Booster Bob, in the Greatwood Gold Cup, which we're going to touch on in a second. But he's got decent, like I said, he's got decent Newbury form, and at 11-2, he'd be a decent bet for me here for the Paul Nicholls stable. Making his Veterans Company debut, I think Brave Kingdom will go close. I've also just realised I've done 2 Kingdoms, so I might have to double them up, see what we can do with that. The 3:45, the Greatwood Gold Cup, like I touched on, over 2 miles, 4 furlongs. And I like Islam here for Tom Simmons. Won at Wetherby in November before finishing third at Ascot to Etalon back in October. Etalon at Ascot, and then was 6th to the Jukebox Kid when trying 3 miles for the first time. Obviously, the Jukebox Kid has gone on to win again since. That form looks fairly strong in that race as well. And then he got back to winning ways when winning at Kempton last time, beating Madara, who's no back number, obviously probably being laid out for a Festival Handicap somewhere on the line. That was back over 2 mile, 4 furlongs, which is this trip today. Trainer, I've noticed, I saw an interview with the trainer at the races. They say if the rain comes, the more the better. And he goes very quick at his fences. He loves it. He'll love in front running if he possibly get in front. And I think at 7-1, he's a decent play in the Greatwood Gold Cup. The 4:23, other 2 horses to mention, in the Greatwood Gold Cup that I have to have a mention. First one is Vincenzo, who's been ultra consistent this year. Second in both the Paddy Power and the December Gold Cups at Cheltenham before winning really nicely up at Ascot last time. And then Blow Your Wad, who's not won this season, but has had decent form. I think he was third last time out at Ascot in a decent race. So he was third, in the Clarence House, wasn't he? Behind John Bond last time out. So hopefully him back into handicap company, he could go close as well. But it'd be Islam for me. The 4:23, the handicap hurdle over 2.5 miles. And one of my old favourite, this season's favourite anyway, Kills Waters running again for Hobbs. 7th in the Persian War on Hurdle's debut. 4th then at Exeter, second start. And then went down when I really thought he had a chance at Taunton. And he was second only at Taunton that day. Makes handicap debut. I think he's got a great chance. We'll see what price he opens up at. So whether we get involved or not. And then the 4:58, the last race, the bumper, Melanda Road for Fergal O'Brien. Horse sets the standard in here. Obviously has to give weight away to everybody, but won the Alan Swinbank Memorial listed bumper at Market Raisin, and it sets the standard certainly off the back of that. And I think he can build that and potentially maybe go to the Aintree bumper at the back end of the season. And then finally over to Doncaster. Cover their races over there. The 1:25, the Mares Novice Hurdle. I like Baron Rua for Emmett Mullins coming over. He's running much better grading. He's running graded races this season. Drops into listed company, making the trip across for this. I think he'd be far too good for these. I think if you get any sort of price back this, I think he's like 4-1 currently. I think that's far too big. See what price we get tomorrow night. Maybe we might have a play on him as well. The 1:55, the handicap chase over 2 miles, and this is where we see Mighty Bandit again, who's been very impressive this season. Obviously second to Mambo number 5 at Newbury before winning himself at Newbury. That form obviously was very well advertised, but a second, third coming out. That was Look Away, wasn't it? It was third, and Highland Legacy was second. Obviously Torino's 4th that day. So that form looks fairly strong. And then came up here at Doncaster and absolutely dotted up last time. Has gone up a little bit in the weights for that race, but no surprise there. But I think at 15-8, he's going to be one of my stronger plays of the weekend. I just can't see him being beat, to be honest. I think he's got a hell of a chance. The 2:30, the Grimthorpe Chase, over 3 miles, 2 furlongs. Last year's winner, Moldor, is back again. 33 to 1 winner last year off a mark of 125. He actually comes back in here off a mark of 120. And he's 25 to 1 for this year's contest. Potentially, could he go back to back? Not going to chance it there. I am going to back one that did run in the race last year, and I'm going to give him another chance in this race, and it's Some Scope for Richard Hobson. 8 to 1 shot. Was pulled up in this race last year. Wasn't really travelling that day. And then won 2 starts ago at the course at Doncaster. So that brings him. He's definitely got Doncaster form in him. Didn't really go a yard last time out when pulled up again, but has had wind surgery since. And I think he could be a decent each way play at around 8 to 1. And then the 3:05, the maiden hurdle over 2 mile 4 furlongs. And Leader Crick for the Twiston Davis Yard is in here, and I'm going to fancy him for this race. 6th on hurdles debut at Cheltenham in October. Hasn't been seen since, but he cost an absolute fortune off the point to points. And I just think that this is a decent opportunity for him to get his maiden off the bat here and go close. The 3:40, the novice handicap hurdle, I like Tilhurst for Neil Mulholland at the top of the weights. 2nd and 3rd at Worcester. First 2 starts with them finishing 3rd in October behind Hamlet Knight. So obviously I fancy for the Moor Battle. Wasn't beaten too far that day, and I think this is a chance for him to get off the mark on handicap debut. The 4:15, the handicap hurdle over 3 miles, and I've gone for another Twiston Davis horse in big ticket. 2nd at Aintree in Ascot, was pulled up in 2nd run at Ascot in December, but then won nicely over 2 miles, 2 furlongs at Lingfield last time out. He's a point-to-point winner, so stepping up to 3 miles shouldn't be too much of an issue, and hopefully he will go close. And then the final race, the last race we're going to touch on, is the bumper, the 4:50, the 2 mile hurdle, and again it's another Twiston Davis Yard inmate in Igor Bev for the Twiston Davis, 4th in a Cheltenham bumper at the start of the season. Sets the standard from there. The Yard won this last year with at the Ocky, so they know how to win this race, and I just think this horse will go close. Best bets for the weekend, I've got 2 from each track, which will all go up as selections tomorrow night. The first 2 from Kelso being The Last Cloud in the Premier Handicap. I think he's got a hell of a Premier Hurdle, novice hurdle. I think he's got a hell of a chance off the back of running in both the River Don and the Formby. 2.5 miles, 2 mile 2 furlongs should suit. Hamlet Knights is probably going to be the lap of the weekend in the Moor Battle hurdle. I really like the chance of this horse. I think he's got an excellent profile going into it. And then obviously all roads will lead onto the county and potentially the bonus after that. The 2 from Newbury, Palacio in the novice handicap chase. If he gets loose on the front, I think he's got a hell of a chance for Sam Thomas. And then the other one is Islam in the Greatwood Gold Cup. Like I said, 7 to 1. He's potentially might back him each way at 7 to 1, but he's dropping back to 2.5 miles. The way he won at Kempton last time, I think he can come on leaps and bounds for that and go close in that race. And then the 2 over at Doncaster. The first one is Mighty Bandit. It will be the next best for the podcast. I just think he's got a great profile. Like I said, 2, a 2nd and a win at Newbury, and then obviously 1 over course and distance last time. Should be very difficult to beat. And then Some Scope in the Grimthorpe Chase, I think, has each way claims at 8 to 1 and could make amends for his being pulled up in the race last year. Thanks again for listening, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we can have a fair few winners over the weekend. And happy punting to you all.